streets.
Ray, it's good to see you again, man.
Happy New Year, my brother.
Yeah, man.
The legend itself, be the man.
I appreciate it. Happy birthday, man.
Thank you, my brother.
Happy
Appreciate it.
birthday, man. I remember when Wu-Tang in that era, to be honest with you, it was a marginalized type of art form. It was kind of way on the outside looking in. Now it's kind of like it's a kumbaya. Speak on, watch it, because, but the thing is, some of the narrative for Cuban Links, the despair, the inner city grit, is still going on right now. Where is that dichotomy with Cuban Links right now? Where do you see the body of work? Do you see it telling the same story or similar story like right now in culture?
You know, I see that album as being the Bible of the streets, or the Bible of the ghetto. You know, it goes back to people just wanting to escape poverty life, man. And when you put in certain places and you feel like there's no way to get out, you feel trapped. You know, that album just really resonates life for us, man. Like from the crime side.
Yeah.
You know, when I wrote it, I was just feeling like, yo, I'm just talking about what I'm seeing in front of me. And I think that it does still play a major part in a lot of kids' lives, you know what I mean? Whether they in the streets, whether they somewhere. If you're struggling, only you know if you're really struggling like that.
Yeah.
And I think that album just kind of reflected the type of people we were, the type of men we were, you know, just dealing with things that's going on. And now as I hear it through the music, you know, everybody's about representing where they from and, you know, how they came up in their way. And, you know, for us, coming up with a little bit and then making something out of it, now you want the world.
Yeah.
You know, so now you hear everybody's music and, you know, it's like, it's all about getting accomplishments after the, you know what I mean, after going through what you had to go through.
Yeah.
So yeah, it still exists, man.
And see what's interesting, like you said, that album was the Bible of the streets, right? When you were creating that space, that art form, it seemed like it was speaking from the soul.
Right.
I'm wondering, you know, you looking out, like I said, hip hop, you're the architects of this house. So we're in the house, we're looking at who's being invited in the house, we're looking at what type of entertainment is going on in the house. Do you think now those street tales that you and Wu kind of spoke to the world of what's going on with us, has it just become now an entertainment? You know, somebody, Ray, if you sit down, you say you're on South Beach, and you see a brother say from Argentina, man, he bumping the Cuban links, and it's like you speak, but he doesn't really understand that truth. Do you see that as, I wonder sometimes, is he dancing to the pain or he's just embracing that art form?
I think it's both, you know. I think people is looking at the talent and appreciating it, and also appreciating the energy that's coming out, you know, from where we take y'all. Like we always said when we made our music, it's an emotional roller coaster. You know, coming from where we come from, you know, that's the only thing we can speak on. So when I see Europeans, you know, really gravitate to it, I say to myself, they can relate. Because everybody may think that, you know, you go to certain places, it's all fun.
There's some gully size over there.
Like, it's real over there too, you know what I mean? And especially third world countries. So people kind of see us writing our struggle on paper, and then they get a chance to be around us and then see the energy, and then they become mesmerized by what they feeling out of us, because they know, yo, they telling the truth. They telling a story that's perfectly told. You know, and I think that the music just allowed us to really just go around the world and say, yo, we just like you, big. We come from the same. You know, we trying to go from point A to point B. You know, in the greatest way that we can, and pull our people in. So, you know, people know that about Wu-Tang, and that's why we was always considered like a cult type of group. You know, because we had people of all ages, of all nationalities, of all cultures really coming to the table and really just saying, yo, the reflection y'all giving, I can relate. You know, so I just look at it like we just painting pictures for the modern day person that's out there that's seeing what they seeing.
Yeah.
You know, and
It's interesting because Hov said in an interview that hip hop has done more for race relations than most cultural icons.
I'm trying to tell you. And, you know, we cut the line between understanding our culture and understanding where we came from, you know, from the segregation times and all of that. Like, hip-hop sliced right through that, you know, and a younger generation that really didn't know what was happening back then, they gravitated to what they seen coming up.
Yeah.
And that did definitely cut through everything and just kind of like make it be known that, you know what, this is just for us. You know, that's why we always say hip hop is a culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's a way of life for us that we can only understand. And it went through so many phases of kids coming up and really saying, damn, I don't know what's my next thing, but I'm attracted to the music.
Yeah.
You know, the music is talking to me, you know, and that's how I felt when I was where I was at, you know what I mean? The music was my navigation through life. You know, I would sit there and listen to, you know, listen to certain artists that I really appreciated, and not just hip-hop artists.
Of course.
I mean, you know, just music in general, Stevie Wonder.
I love Coltrane,
You know,
man.
Coltrane, you know, that's the shit.
Yeah.
You know, Luther Vandross, and then the music just became so widespread because of the messages that was in it. And people pick up on that, and they use that as they earpiece to life. You know, and say, yo, boom, if I can't do it the way I want to do it, maybe I might have a hidden talent in me that could make me, you know, be a better person. And that hip-hop culture, the music culture itself embraces that.
We were talking off the cuff, Ray. You know, I told you I saw the Selma movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was very epic because the standard film detailing urban life, and you know, you said something very early about struggle being universal. You can't really put a color to that. You know, the brother in Mexico, we're all trying to get somewhere.
Right.
And when I saw the film, for the first time, it was told through the eyes of the people who were in the trenches and how they found a way to empower themselves to climb out of it.
Exactly.
We were talking off the cuff, and I get in this debate with my young, you know, the young brothers all the time who tell me, Peter, man, stuff hasn't changed. But Ray, I'm sitting here, we're looking at the water in Miami, and I don't know if we could have been here in the 60s. But to your point, we had a very interesting conversation that you travel the world, and is it that we're still fighting some of the same demons, but just a more sophisticated war?
I think that's the perfect word to say. We definitely still fighting our, you know, demons within the community, or, you know, just living, you know, and that's just people of all color. You know, there's many different types of racism and many different kinds of ways to be racist, you know what I mean? Like how people look. And I agree, man. You know, of course we came a long way, and we have to pay homage to, you know, our ancestors who really went out there and made that change. You know, some got hurt, some got killed, some got amputated, some got hung. You know, and to me, it's like us saying as people, the minority, or as black people, we forgive, you know, but we'll never forget. And today, you still have people who still treat you like that, you know? And I guess it's because, you know, just look at it. 300 years ago, slavery existed. 300 years ago. That ain't really a lot.
No, it's not.
You know? That's not really like a long time. It is a long time because it's 300 years, but come on, you know, I don't look at 300 years as being a long time, but I still think it exists, and we see it through certain things, through racial profiling. You know, they look at certain things, the music, you know, they feel like the music is intimidating the minds of people who do criminal.
You know, I wonder that. You know, I've always, because Ray, I wonder that. We have this art form, and for me, when I look at hip hop, in a lot of ways, if you're not up on, say, the rhyming tip of it, it's like it's an economic savior for a lot of people coming from our communities. I'm sure each artist they get to employ a family member that may did some fair time that can't get a job in the. That's the argument, right, Ray? Some of the things that are said on the mic, when you did it, it was storytelling. I wonder if today is some of the art just exploitation of that story.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, because we made it a brand, our lifestyle. It became a brand to other people who felt they can capitalize off it. And at the end of the day, that's just what it is. You know what I mean? People are going to capitalize when they see something that's great building up. Nobody thought hip-hop was going to escalate to this, you know what I mean? Being one of the most influential pieces of music throughout the whole world, you know? You know, at first it was just, oh, it was a phase or whatever, but I think that it does reflect what's going on in people's minds, and a lot of people do capitalize. You know, it's definitely being sold, but that's why we say the game is to be sold, not to be told. You know, but we tell it in our own way. We tell it through different ways where only we can relate more. You know, we can relate more than the average Joe who is trying to realize what they talking about. You know, but not knowing that we free in our minds now, because now we know that we can speak. We could say what we want to say. We could make music be about music and education and reality. You know, and to me, that's something that you can't duplicate. People is going to see it and respect it, and the next thing you know, it trickles across the world, and now you got everybody telling their story. You know, so
it's cause
even if they don't know it,
even
if they ain't come from it or live it, they know how to tell it well now. Because it was a narrow path that became a longer path now for people to walk down. You know, and now when you see kids, like, there's so many talented kids, but these young talented kids with dreams are opening the doors for other people to have opportunities to have jobs now. To make money, to establish themselves, to see what this guy did, because you know what, he came for nothing, and now look where he's at. You know, I can do it too, because I feel that I have the same intellectual presence, and I'm smart enough to know right from wrong, because I'm seeing what's going on in the music, and I'm seeing that we all come from the same thing, the same shit. And people, they, you know, but you still got people that just do it because, you know what, it became commercialized now. You know, because see, I look at it like this. You got different kind of music that attack emotions, right? And you have guys that like to talk about struggle. Like, to me, I always consider East Coast music is more struggle, because we caught up in that fast life. So we talk about everything.
The skies in New York,
you know,
is great,
and then you
man.
got certain places, you know, that just love the sound of music, that just want to party, or, you know, they can reflect on music back in the days from, you know, the early 70s, the 80s, and, you know, some of our greats that came up from that time, they influenced us as well. You know, like for me, it's like, I grew up on the Mary Jane Girls, you know what I mean? I grew up on Keith Sweat, you know, certain things, but then I also grew up on Coogee Rap, you know, NWA, you know, Kane, and certain guys in that nature that basically opened up that faucet for us to drink what they drunk.
Yeah.
You know, so now it's going to keep trickling down.
Right.
Now it becomes a hereditary thing for us in music because we're opening our eyes to these youngsters and they getting it from so many different angles. Yeah, you know, when I get on, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go get this or whatever. But if you deserve that reward because of the hard labor that you put in, then why not enjoy it? Why not, why not go for it?
Yeah,
and that's what we do.
It's because this whole, it's funny you say that, man, because this whole topic, there's been I guess with Ferguson and what's going on, there's a surge of black consciousness. And sometimes I wonder, Ray, the beauty of our culture is that we're such an inviting culture. And we're not a polarizing people.
Right.
I've been following the energy around the young lady, I think it's Iggy Azalea. A lot of artists are wondering, is it culture vulture, is it exploitation? I don't know.
Right.
I'm naive to think that it's a young lady from Australia who just loved the art form. And maybe she doesn't know some of the historical context of racism in this country. Because we so obsessed with it over here that I think sometimes we forget in these countries, they may just like the art form.
Exactly.
And if she's mimicking the art form, is that something to, feel good about?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think, I think that we're just, like I said, we're paying a way for everybody to express themselves through the art form of music and the culture that we basically live amongst. All I can say in that situation is that she's doing what she wants to do. And she was able to take it from somewhere so far away where she was at to here. And nobody's gonna ever want to give it up because, of course, she's a white girl, pretty, and she got talent. And then you're gonna have people ridicule that because they feel like she's from Australia. So I just look at it like music is for whoever knows how to make it, man. We have to say to ourselves, if you're talented, you're talented. I think she's talented, in her form. And we just have to accept that and don't look at it as, oh, yo, you ain't from that life, because a lot of people ain't from that life, I might sit here and look at a couple of rappers and say, yeah, he sound like a perfect one. But you're really not from that.
True.
So I just know that we open that up for people to be able to feel why I can't express myself. Why I can't travel, look at French. French is African.
Yeah, he's from Morocco, right?
You know
Moroccan.
what I mean?
He's
Moroccan.
Yeah.
So, these guys that come from so much of a different background, they recognize the music. And they able to relate to it because it's like, wow, oh, that's what he said? Oh, that's what it is? Oh, that's how you wear your clothes? Oh, this, and we develop our own forte of how we live and how we move. And it even goes the same way through the music. So, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it's somebody from Mongolia that come out and sell 100 million records. I wouldn't be surprised because it's so much influence now that's being given that it's only right to, to sponge it up. Sponge it and be able to define a true talent in yourself to make it happen for you. And that's what it is. You feel you got it, somebody tell you that, you got the right team of men and women around you, that gives you an opportunity to go out there now and really say to myself, wow, I got a grip on something now, because now I become the public figure to the people that believe me.
Ray, I humbly told you, man, I remember our first conversation, you told me something about building success and building a business. And you were like, Peter, you don't necessarily need the smartest people, the most gifted people. You just need loyal.
The loyalists, yeah.
And you build around that team.
That's right.
And
the loyalist is important because it gives you an opportunity to say, if mistakes and errors present themselves, we can learn from it and we can get back in tune, because that's what it's all about. Taking something good and protecting it. But when something bad happened, know how to take that experience on and get back to it and say, yo, we're gonna fix it. But you can't get that if you dealing amongst, you know, the four devils that exist in all of us. You know what I mean? The envy, the lust, the greed, and the hate. You know, but once you got something loyal and people that's loyal to you, everything is on the table. Everything is transparent for you to feel like, yo, you know what? That happened, but now we know what we did wrong, so now we can change it. And now we can still go after and do what we want to do now. And you feel confident about the person that you went through that with, because it's like, you know what? That's how I tell my team, you know, if I'm rolling the dice and I throw a 6, let me shoot again. Let me bowl again. Now, if I bowl a certain amount of aces in a row, aces is when you know you lost.
So
it's like it's like, all right, let me, you know, but right then and there, my hand might have not been hot. So I should have been able to know when to stop. But sometimes, you know, you got to get that experience, man. You know, either one way or another. That experience factor is very important, because that's the teachings that come with success.
Ray, so it's interesting you bring up the word loyalty and what it means in business and means in a family. I think Wu-Tang, probably in culture and art, is a perfect blueprint for what that means. And I mean, you guys been together for years.
Yeah, man.
And I know, you know, there was some, I guess, you know me, my conversations, I don't dwell on things people want to consider gossip and negativity. But there was, I don't know if it was a riff, I don't know. You know, two grown men have their own issues. But when the Wu-Tang Collective was getting together, there was that situation with you and Rizzo, or if it was a situation. How is that cohesion now?
You know, I learned to just look at it like, this is somebody who seen greatness in me, and he supported me in making my dreams come true. And you know, sometimes when you got a person around you that knows that they helped you in ways that they felt like you didn't know that was happening, you didn't know that could happen until I came around, you tend to hold a certain level of status amongst that person that put you on, that they feel like that, like, you know, and then next thing you know, now you really look for the loyalty. And sometimes loyalty could be thin. You know what I mean? It could come thin, you know? And you know, like I said, man, we keep it G, because we know where we come from.
Exactly.
You know, and you know, you be around a lot of people sometimes. And I think that with Riz, he always had great intentions for us, you know, but sometimes I tell him, man, sometimes you might have great intentions, but you may make bad decisions sometimes. And we had to go through that. That's all a part of we call hell, is because we still trying to understand one another, you know, when then certain things happen. But it's just all about being a grown man and really saying, you know, we can still come back to the table and talk, because we know what we came from. And if a man don't know where he came from, he don't know where he going, you know. So we kind of just, like I said, we kind of come back in and out. But loyalty is everything to me, man. And I never want to take loyalty as something like it got to be a weight on my neck if I feel like it's too heavy for me. You know, I want to make sure that at the end of the day, it feels how it's supposed to feel. You know, loyalty, that's a big word. That to me is more than money. You know, so.
Do you think, Ray, as a culture, as a people, we've become whores in a sense for money?
Hell yeah.
Somewhat?
Yeah, because you get caught up in you know, the fact of people looking at you and constantly putting you in that situation, like, yo, you can make this or you do this, or this is gonna put you here, or this or whatever. But sometimes you forget the little, you know, like showing up for something that don't have nothing to do with money.
Exactly.
You know, we can't sit here. It's like if I'm at a place and I see a lot of people out there and they rooting for me and they want me on the stage and my paper ain't right because of a technicality that happened, or you know, it puts me in a situation.
I wonder
right
that.
then and there, and it's like I say to myself, damn, like they don't see all that. They don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But then right then and there, it tells me to make a decision as an individual, as an artist, as a person, and say, what you want to do, what you really want to do. 8 times out of 10, you might got me. I might go out there and hit that stage. But that 2 times out of 10, I might not be down for it because I might have felt like I was treated a certain kind of way handling my business.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just, you know, we get put in these different situations, and like I said, money, we know money is almost like the devil because it changes your mentality as a person because of what you grossing or what you netting or whatever the case may be, how you living, or, you know, like I always tell, I don't judge a man through his pocket, I judge a man from his heart. You know, I have friends to this day that's has money, and I got friends to this day that I love that don't got a dime, but his energy is so solid, you know, he's so honest and truthful, and, you know, to me, he's a stronger man, you know what I mean? Because, yeah, I may have money, but at the same token, he rich in the heart. What could tribal father? I could lose my money. I could go broke tomorrow. You know, but when you're dealing with a noble man and a man that is just rich right here, he's going to always be all right. That's why we always say, as our brothers and sisters that's in Africa that's living under certain situations that we could never, ever imagine.
Yeah.
It's like I look at them as kings, B. Because how you able to still enjoy life? And then, you know, it makes me reflect on where the I came from. And say, wow, I was enjoying it still, you know? So can't never let money really do that, but it does do it to people sometimes. And it's all in that individual.
Finally, you know, Ray, there's whispers of this documentary you guys are working on, man.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're gonna give us a little bit of teaser on. Is it something cohesively? Is it a narrative through your eyes? What's the backdrop, man?
Backdrop is life, man.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, telling a story for the people that appreciated my story, appreciated, you know, when I came into the game and they seen my evolution happening. You know, it told the story, and now being that it's going to happen now, I have to make sure that I give them the fruit that they need to understand what that fruit meant to me when I ate it. When I bit it, boom, this is what it meant to me. So, of course, we just going to go in and give a powerful piece. And like I said, it's going to be a more hands-on situation for me. So just get ready for it. And like I said, overall, you know, me celebrating the 20th anniversary this year, you know, of Cuban Links, and coming with a new album called Fly International Luxurious Art.
Yeah.
I'm just telling my story in the greatest way, but also celebrating where me and my team came from.
Yeah. Ray, there's so many.
We came from some stuff.
There's so much arguments today over religion. What does God mean to you? You know, I know some people believe it, some people don't. Sometimes I doubt. Sometimes I look at the world and I say, man, how does the omnipotent allow certain things to happen? What is the embodiment of God in your life?
God is everything. God is water. God is land. He's everything. He could come in any form. He's the all-I-seeing. He sees everything. Nothing. He sees everything going on in space, everywhere. And if you don't embody that understanding about that, then, you know, you may not really know what life is all about. It's like a caterpillar. You know, a lot of people sometimes are scared of death, you know, but, you know, a wise friend told me one time, he was like, life is like when you see a caterpillar die and then it turns into a butterfly.
Yeah.
You know, look at life that way. Look at, you know what I mean?
We're always evolving.
You know, it's something that we can't stop, but we have to accept and look at it for a better way. And that man upstairs, the Almighty, the Merciful, you know, he's here to just guide you and let you see what that's about. And when it's time for him to say, come on, we got to be able to accept that.
And finally,
that's something that nobody can dip, dive away from. You know?
So finally, Ray, if today is our time, are you content with what you did thus far?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, I raised a beautiful family. You know, my children is very smart and respectful and humble. They dad did something great, and that's what it's all about. You know, I know that one day I'll be chilling next to Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and you know, that's what it's all about. And these are people that dictated what was going on in their environment and their world, and they took it to this level of success where people is like, yo, you are a martyr in this field. You know, so that's all I want to do is just be able to let my seeds know that, yo, look what your father did, following his paths, following his same path. Not as an artist, but more as a person with a conscience and turned it into something beautiful. You know, I always want my kids to do whatever they want to do, but more importantly, I want them to be smart. I want them to know how to relate to the ghetto and also relate to, you know, wherever, you know, high class, whatever. Just be able to maintain both. And the more you're able to maintain both, the more you'll have a grip on life and know how to handle it when they come at you. It's important, man. We want our kids to balance that. You know, I know rich people who don't give their kids no money. You know what I'm saying? I know poor people who give their kids everything because they never had it. You see what I'm saying? So it's just all about giving them that balance that they could digest and know where they need to be at.
What do you fear most, Ray?
I fear being misunderstood. You know, I fear that people don't really understand me yet, you know, but they want to understand me. And that's the fear, because when you got somebody who's a product of his environment that made a change, it's like, know that I do it from here first. That's what I said. When you can't see that, then that fears me, because then now you think I'm a gimmick to you. You know what I mean? I'm not a gimmick, man. You know, what I give you is, I'm just a messenger.
A buddy of mine told me there's a lot of people, Ray, in this world doing a lot of wrong trying to get the right. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
They're doing wrong to get the right, man.
I mean, you know, everybody's gonna try to get there however they get there, you know, and like I said, the Most High, he gonna give you he gonna let you do what you want to do.
Indeed.
He gonna let you do it how you do it.
It's always
The Peter Bailey Show.
Talk,
Love, man. You a deep brother.